So usually when people do genius style interviews, it's because they wrote the lyrics. Well, I've never seen somebody cover a song and do a genius interview about what it meant to them and why they covered it. So that's what we're doing today. No one love you like I love you. Never cheat, never lie. Never put no one above you. I gave you space and time. I chose to do this song because I was going through a situationship and the lyrics were so strong to me. Those lines of like, no one love you like I love you, never cheat, never lie. It's like, the person that I was in a situationship with, they had a lot of relationship history and they kind of were jaded about love. And so I was like, well, I never cheated on you. I never lied, but you didn't really give me that opportunity to show you that. I gave you space and time was really about, I gave them lots of space to be like, do you want to do this or not? And at the end of it, I just felt like I was waiting for someone who never felt ready. Now you're telling me you miss it, and I'm still on your mind. We were one in a million, and love is hard to find, bitch. I rarely get excited about meeting people, especially love interests, And so when I had met this person, I had such a strong, visceral reaction. I think I told everyone in the room that day that I liked that person, and that's never really happened. It was kind of a letdown when it didn't work out, because it was like, wow, I poured so much energy and passion into this person that didn't work out. Do you stay up late just so you don't dream? I love this line because it's so poetic and it's so telling. Do you stay up late just so you don't dream about me? You are avoiding dreaming because you're worried you're gonna dream about me. Damn. When you are in a relationship or you're getting out of one or even in a situationship, it's very hard, once things are over or in that weird middle spot, to stop thinking about that person. It's like your brain has so much momentum. And so it's kind of like, do you ever wonder about me? Do you ever still think about me? Am I stuck in your mind like you're stuck in mine? Do you not allow yourself to dream about me? Because that's kind of what I'm doing too. Every time your lips touch another, I want you to feel me. I want you to feel me. Every time you dance with somebody, I want you to feel me. I want you to feel me. There was a point where I had suspected that this person that I was in a situationship with had moved on, and I was thinking, I wonder if they had completely moved on or if I was still in their mind while they were with that new person. So it's like, I hope you think about me when you're with that new person, just a little bit, just in the back of your mind. Do your days get a little bit longer? Do your nights get a little bit colder? Heartbeat a little bit louder? Whoa, whoa, whoa. I feel like with a lot of situationships or when things get really messy, it's like you almost turn a little spiteful. You're like, I really hope that I'm just in there. I really hope you realize what you missed out on and what we could have been and all that angst. And so when I heard those lyrics at first, I was like, wow, that beautifully translates that feeling, of I hope you miss me and I hope that you feel it, that I'm gone. When you're running, who are you running to? Where do you go to hide when she ain't giving you enough to get you through the night? Ooh. Yeah, I feel like when you see that person with a new person, it's kind of like, what's the dynamic like? You're kind of a little bit curious. You're like, is she giving you enough to get you through the night? Is that person being a good partner to you? And so for me, it was wondering about that new person, not comparing yourself to them, but just feeling I wonder if the relationship dynamic is better with the new person or you're still missing me. Won't be caught up in the middle of your highs and your lows. Baby, as long as you're not with me, you'll always be alone. That one is such a like a for me, because it's like, baby, as long as you're not with me, like, what are you doing? Like, come on, you know it's fun to be with me, so you just gotta be bored, or with a lot of situationships, there's a lot of back and forth, like, oh, I wanna do this, oh, I don't wanna do this, oh, like, I'm ready, oh, I'm not ready. This person was very back and forth, like, stop, go, hot and cold. I'm not gonna be here forever. It's either now or never, because it's either hell yes or hell no. If you're not all in with me, you're all out. So I had heard this song years and years ago on YouTube because the original song got leaked. And I wasn't really like a Selena stan or like a super fan, to be honest. And so hearing this song was like, I really saw this raw part of Selena that I've never heard before. It was like super vulnerable, and I feel like it really describes how a lot of us feel in a poetic way, you know? And I saw a live performance of her doing this song, one of the only rare live performances, and you just could feel her energy as if like the person that she was talking about was in the crowd. And like I feel like with rock music especially, there's a lot of angst, a lot of power. And so the pop version has that to a degree, but I wanted to see how far I could take it. I travel a lot as a model, and so I'd be in my Ubers or on a plane or just traveling and listen to the cover I made in my AirPods. And I would be like just dreaming up this music video. And I'm like, I don't know how or when or what it's gonna take to make this music video, but I wanna make it. And I kept seeing rain. I thought there's no way that I could do that. Like, how am I gonna film with rain? It's like, doesn't rain right now, it's summer. And then I found this rain room, and things started coming together. Like I met my good friend Jess and Rosa on the shoot that I did, and I had overheard Rosa be like, oh, I wanna work on music videos. And this was right when I was journaling about my music videos, like 10 feet away. And I just went up to her and I was like, let's make this happen. Like, are you for real? Cause like, I have ideas. So Jess was like, my boyfriend's a videographer, like, let's make this happen. And so it just was like a domino effect, and it became this whole thing. And then, you know, it went from having a couple of concepts of like, I want rain and I want this, to like, actually, I really want to share my story of what I went through with this person and how I interpreted it and like what it meant to me. And so I built this whole storyline of like, well, I used to always do like tarot with this person. So we added the tarot cards, and this person loves to smoke and loves drinking beer. So how can I incorporate that into the story? And like really look at our text messages and be like, if I could sum this up, how would I like convey this in a short way? It was really fun to play director, producer, writer, and singer, and put it all together. And honestly, my team is the best, and it's like this whole orchestra being a part of something that's larger than just me, you know? And so I'm so grateful and proud of what we created. I grew up around a lot of musical people, and especially watching like my dad especially played an influence on me and my sister. Like my sister kind of got the R&B from him, and I got like the rock, the Ozzy Osbourne, the Breaking Benjamin, you know, like we got like two different roots, but from the same person. Because my dad was always keeping his repertoire big and large and pulling from all kinds of musical inspirations. So that always helped me when creating music, because I was like, well, I love this and I love that. And so a lot of people say I have a soul voice, I have a deep, soulful voice, I should do R&B, which I probably will later in my career, but I've always had a heart for like rock and metal. And I think that's what kind of sets me apart. I really feel like when I decided like this is what I want to do was right after I had released my first metal project in 2018, my uncle, who has been a tremendous influence around me growing up, was like, oh, I really love your metal music, you should continue doing this. And nobody had noticed this project at this time. Like I didn't do press for it, it was simply out of the passion of my teenage angsty heart. And so hearing that was like, oh wow, really? I remember my sister's boyfriend, his friend, works at a label or whatever. And he heard my metal project and was like, wow, she should do more of this. Like, this could really be a thing. And I was like, well, I want to do pop music. Like, I don't know if I want to do metal or rock anymore. Even though my heart knew, like, that's what I wanted to do, I was like, well, it's not ever going to be this big thing. And then I was like, fuck it. That's what I really want to do at the end of the day, And he was like, it's a shame that she wants to do pop music. Everyone wants to do pop music. And so that was when I was like, you know what? I'm going to do rock music. And it's been history ever since. Now we got the ball rolling. I had heard the pop rendition of it, and I had heard like a live concept fan edit, and I was like, I heard like drums and like a lot of percussion, and I was like, wow, that actually sounds really good. And then on top of it, I was just always singing the song in my room, and I was like, you know what? I'm just doing rock covers anyway because I don't know what to write, so I'm gonna do one on this one because my voice sounds good. The stars were aligning, so I did it, and I recorded it in one day, and that was that. The last thing was, Marissa. It was like the missing piece, like the one missing piece. And I was like, okay, well, we put out a search on Instagram, couldn't find anything. We had my modeling agencies put out a search for somebody, didn't find anything. And so we were running out of time, and I was just happening to be in New York, and I was like, well, I really want to see like the queer scene in New York, because back at home we don't really have that, and I've never really got to meet people that are also queer. So I went to the Cubbyhole bar, which is one of the only 3 lesbian bars in New York. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go alone. And so my sister had dropped me off there, and her Uber was arriving, so we were like, okay, she's about to leave. And so she's like, oh my God, them over there. And she points to Marissa. And I was like, oh my God, they're perfect. And she's like, yeah, go talk to them. And I was like, no, not gonna happen. There's like people talking to them. Like, I don't wanna interrupt the conversation. She's like, well, you better hurry up, my Uber's here. And she's like, fuck it, I'm determined to get this. So she goes over to Marissa and was like, hey, do you wanna be in my sister's music video? And Marissa was like, sure. The rest was history. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It was so much fun getting to share my story with you and a little bit about the process. You can stream Feel Me on all streaming platforms. Please check it out, and love you so much.